It's absurd how much I love Journey Spice. Journey Spice, non-GMO, no salt, no sugar, just all sorts of goodness and smart, environmentally friendly packaging. Pinch the top, take it off. Food tastes better. Comes in singles, 2-packs, and 4-packs. It's Journey Spice. Find them at Amazon.com. Time for Denver's best sports talk with the Altitude Daily.
This is the Altitude Daily Podcast. Everything you can't miss from today on Altitude Sports Radio. Mosher, Lombardi, and Kane.
What the Broncos did last year, what allowed them to make the postseason, was when they were favored in the game, they won. When they were supposed to win that week, they won. And I see a whole bunch of games that we're going to assume are W's here that I think are just complicated and could throw a wrench in that.
Like what?
Well, you have these tough games like Cincinnati, at Philadelphia, at LA, at Washington. Like, you got a whole bunch of like tough ones that are
Those are going to be very difficult to win, yeah.
But like the easy games I'm getting at are you have the Jets in your schedule like, oh, that's going to be a win. And those London games are weird. It messes with people. Like, you're obviously different country, different time zone, different sleep patterns,
Then you come home. The best part about it is you have to play the next week, but you play the Giants at home,
the thing.
and they're terrible.
Everybody's assuming, well, the Giants, that'll be an easy win. And it's like, well, that's also coming back from London. I think there's just a wrinkle to that could make it weird.
At least you have a really dog-butt opponent in that particular game. Thank goodness that's not Cincinnati there.
And then, hey, you're playing Vegas at home. That should be a win. Well, it's a Thursday short week. Like, there's just little complications like that in the schedule that I think could make it a little bit tougher than people assume, even for the games that they're just marking down as dubs.
I do agree. That's a tough stretch there, coming off London, because the Cowboys, you never know what you're going to see. The Raiders, say what you want, the Raiders have beaten you more times than you've beaten them over the last few years. Mm-hmm. The Chiefs are the Chiefs. Hey, the Houston Texans at Houston.
Tough.
That's a tough game.
It's a really tough game.
Yes, it is. At Washington, then, I mean, come on, that's a tough game.
And then you get the bye week, so that little stretch there from the London game all the way through the games you mentioned, Vic, and then it's Vegas, Kansas City, and a bye week. Well, after the bye, you go to Washington, you go to Vegas, you play Green Bay at home, you play Jacksonville at home, and then it's at Kansas City and the Chargers to close out. Like, that's not easy. That is a pretty damn difficult stretch of games that you have for that latter half of the season.
The only thing that can derail the Broncos in a postseason spot, in my humble opinion, is injury.
Well, that's always going to be
That's the only derail. I mean, if the defense is as good as I think it's going to be, then you're in.
The Altitude Daily, the morning sprint.
Harvey's success might be the most pivotal thing for this team returning to the playoffs.
It might be the difference between being a playoff team and being a playoff contender. Like, you're in it to contend.
Yeah, the difference between getting blown out by 30 or actually throwing a pretty solid
the second,
punch.
Third, potentially into a AFC championship game. Because I think if you get those numbers, the Bucs they won a playoff game this year, if I'm not mistaken. Won a playoff game. With the production that they had from Baker Mayfield and a rookie running back in Bucky Irving of 207 carries for 1,100 plus yards and 8 touchdowns, what'd the Bucs do? They won the first playoff game?
They won. No, they lost to the Commanders in the wild card round.
It was a good game.
Lost by 3.
Okay. Good regular season. But you know what the Bucs didn't have that the Broncos have?
The elite defense.
A real defense.
I mean, they do have 41 passing touchdowns from Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, Baker.
Baker balled out last year.
Year.
That dude had 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, 16 picks last year. That's a hell of a season, 4,500 yards through the air.
How many Bo have? 28?
Bo had 29 touchdowns, 12 picks, in just north of 3,700 yards. If you can get Bo, let's add to this projection, right? So if we're talking about ways that the Broncos can go from a 30-point ouster in round 1 to dark horse Super Bowl contender.
Go from good to great.
Go from good to great.
That's what it is.
You have to get what we just said from Harvey. 1,100 yards, 200 plus carries, 8 touchdowns, right? You get that and you're looking great. Bo has to go from 3,700 yards through the air to 4,000. He has to go from 29 touchdowns through the air to 33 to 35. That's a big jump. But 33 to 35, then we're talking. And then the interceptions stay between 12 and 14.
I think the key to that's going to be a guy named Evan Ingram.
The Altitude Daily. Columbus, Hastings, and DMAC.
As frustrating as the NCAA could be, is it ultimately better, though? Because, first of all, you keep schools like Colorado or my Syracuse or whatever. I mean, at least we're in the conversation. We're in the realm of possibility.
I do think the fans like underdogs. Yes.
Right.
If that's the question, I think it's tough to have a championship without the threat of a true underdog. Without a Cinderella story.
There was something cool about Arizona State last year, right? Playing Texas.
I guess. I don't know, actually.
No?
I don't know. I mean, that was a cute storyline that Boise State got to buy. That was a cute storyline that SMU was back in there.
Yeah.
That was a cute storyline that ASU won the Big 12.
Yeah.
For 5 minutes.
Well, they gave Texas a heck of a run.
Okay, cool.
Could have gone their way.
Cool. It lasted 5 minutes. I mean, all those schools, all those Cinderella stories, all those underdogs, 5 minutes.
All right, what's better? Because CU would not be part of this mix. I don't think. Syracuse wouldn't either. What's better for college football?
What's best for college football is to abandon NIL.
Ooh.
What's best for college football, and I don't mean players don't get paid.
Okay.
I mean players get paid the right way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean players, every single conference has got their own TV deal.
Mm-hmm.
They've got their own salary cap. They've got their own budget. Every school is going to maintain a competitive balance within that own specific conference because there's going to be a salary cap that is unique to only that conference. These players are going to get paid money that is directly from the university, that is a salary that comes with bonuses. When you sign a bonus with a Fortune 500 company and they give you $500,000 because they've been recruiting you for 3 years, well, guess what you don't get to do? You don't get to leave. You don't get to bounce. You don't get to jump ship to the competitor. You've got NDAs. You've got non-competes. You've got money that you got fronted that if you leave goes back to that business. So what's best for NCAA? They need to start controlling the anarchy, which means they've got to abandon NIL. They got to do it the proper way. I don't know that I just answered your question, but if you want to save the NCAA, that's the only way to do it.
Well, what you've done then, because the SEC would obviously never go along with that.
Why not? Because they've got their own salary cap. They've got their own TV deal. They still get to pay their players more money. They're independent. Every conference is independent. Every conference has got their own money. They balance their own books. The NCAA doesn't tell you how much money you get to pay your players.
Mm-hmm.
Your conference does that.
Okay. Sake of argument. Wouldn't you just be creating a situation like Major League Baseball has where you got the haves and the have-nots?
That's what you've already got.
Do you?
Yeah.
I mean, what stops a school from CU from having a rich alum to throw more NIL money at their kids?
Well, I mean, SMU sort of did it.
Right.
I mean, they sort of got back into the picture.
I mean, I get it. It takes a lot of money, but every school, it's up to them to raise that NIL money.
Okay.
If you're talking about a salary cap, I mean,
then do it.
The Altitude Daily. Kretman and Lindahl.
Dante Bichette at number 2, which leaves
the number 110.
The number 110.
The number 10.
In Denver professional sports history. Now, some of you might argue this. Some of you might say that we're playing favorites here on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5, to which I say that's a load of shish kebab, all right? The greatest number 10 in Denver sports history wore that number for the 91-92 and 92-93 campaigns for the Denver Nuggets, averaged 2.1 points per game in 76 games played in that unforgettable 92-93 run. The number 10 in Denver sports history, Scott Hastings, everybody.
Yeah!
Scott Hastings.
happy birthday, Hastings.
Yeah.
It's his birthday today.
Oh my God.
Hold on. Give me that one more time.
Oh my God.
Which ref was he pissed at right there?
Get that shot out of here.
Number one,
Scott
Hastings.
Got a little work to do there, Bo.
Only
Emmanuel.
2 years in a Nuggets uniform, but Andy, he was here
Felt like 20.
He was here for a good time, not a long time, okay?
Yeah.
That's all it was.
He was Mr. Right now.
Yes.
Not Mr. Right.
Number one, Scott Hastings, out-dueling Dante Bichette, Emmanuel Sanders, the unforgettable John Roach, and Bo Nix at number 5. Scott Hastings, everybody. By the way, I've got an additional. I got an addendum top 5 here, Andy. I got top 5 guys you forgot wore number 10.
Now this I want to hear.
This will be good. These are some. I would call these infamous Denver sports names.
Let's go.
Here we go.
Let's do it.
At number 5.
Number 5, number 10.
The number 5, number 10 you forgot about. This one was an Andy Lindahl special.
Uh-oh.
He wore number 10 for 5 games in an Avalanche sweater last year. The immortal Toronto-bound, that's where the Hockey Hall of Fame is, right? Riley Tufte.
Oh, my God.
That's your guy.
My God.
You loved this guy.
Come on, Tufte.
Tufte.
Forgot about you.
Yes.
As soon as you left.
That's why these guys were guys who forgot wore number 10.
I loved me a Riley Tufte.
Riley Tufte.
For a couple months.
You've been listening to the Altitude Daily. Catch us live weekdays on 92.5 FM, the Altitude Sports Radio app, twitch.tv/AltitudeSR, youtube.com/Altitude Sports Radio, and your favorite smart speaker. Say Altitude Sports Radio.